So this is Bob. We've had Bob for about 6 years now. He's a 62 Falcon, and my wife originally bought him so that she could go to car shows with me. I have a 65 Mustang that I restored, and she bought Bob to accompany me on the shows. And like I said, we've had him about 6 years. His name comes from the license plate, so he came with a name pre-made. I know most people name their cars after women, or girls' names. This is not what Bob does. So the original plan was to restore him, but as you know, that costs lots of money. He came running and driving, so he does run now. But obviously he's in need of some work. He needs a paint job. He needs all the expensive things. He needs a paint job, he needs interior, and he needs the motor to be looked after. So I'm going to do this in phases. So we're going to start with the engine and just start and seal the motor, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and clean things up and make it look nice, and then eventually we'll get to the interior. But today I wanted to just do a walk around to Bob. So this is what he looks like from the outside. It's a 4-door sedan, base model, 6-cylinder. It's had some work done from the previous owner. Suspension work has been done, rear end's been rebuilt. So running and driving, he runs pretty well. He smokes really bad. I don't think he's had any engine work done, so a lot of leaky gaskets. So that's the plan for the first round, is to fix the gaskets. So interior Bob is all original. It's not in the greatest of shape. It was originally covered in this plastic seat covers, which you would think would be great, but it had enough sun that it still baked both the seat cover and the seats themselves. It was an original vinyl, gray vinyl interior, and then a fabric insert. We can rebuy the fabric and the inserts. They don't make these covers from the aftermarket, so we would have to have them made. There's a company that makes all the replacement panels and all the replacement seat covers in vinyl, but it costs lots of money. There's a box of parts for stage 1 of Bob, and you can see the back seat here is completely coming out and coming apart and separated. Let me show you the front. Again, very original, hasn't really been modified, it's very stock, very little done to it. The interiors I don't think has been touched. Original paint on the dash, original door panels, everything else, and then the seat cover and the steering wheel. So that's down the line. Right now we want to get it running and driving so it doesn't smoke and make a big mess. Alright, so stage 1 of Bob is going to be engine cleanup, engine bay cleanup. So he's in one of these Harbor Freight tents in the side yard because we have a 1-car garage and my Mustang is currently in the garage, so he's going to get worked on outside. So as you can see, very rusty, very used, very worn out. I did do a compression test and the compression is okay, so we're going to save some money, at least for now, and just do cosmetic. So the plan for today, Cameron and I are going to start today, and we'll show you the results tomorrow, but we have to drain fluids and start pulling stuff apart, and then we're actually going to pull the motor and detail the engine bay and reseal everything. I got a seal kit to reseal the valve covers, and the main seal, I believe, is what's actually causing most of the oil leak and the smoking when we drive it. So we're going to clean it up, try to do it as stock as possible. One of the reasons that I wanted to do the YouTube videos, because it's really hard to find anything on a Falcon and what it's supposed to look like. Whereas when I did my Mustang, there's lots of information on every nut and bolt and what color it should be and what it should look like. On this car, there's next to nothing online, so I'm going to do the best I can, going with not only what's there, but what I can find online, and refresh what's here. So stay tuned. I'm not sure how we're going to do the video, if I do a time lapse or just do updates as the days go on, but this is Bob, and we begin the adventure today. Alright, so we worked on him a little bit today. We drained the fluids and pulled the radiator, pulled the generator, and the heater hoses, and one of the horns. Not a whole lot done today, but more than I expected to do. I was just going to drain it today. By the way, I did mention in the last video, last segment, this is a 144, which is one of the smallest, I think, that Ford made. I believe I just read today that they're 86 horsepower. So not a lot of get up and go with this guy, but he was an economy car. It was Ford's answer to the Japanese invasion. So they sold really well. A lot of similarities to the Mustang because this was built, or the Mustang was built on this chassis. So a lot of things very similar. A lot of the parts very similar. The Mustang also had a straight six, but that was a 200. So they went from a 144 in this car to a 170, and then eventually to a 200. And then this also got a V8 in 64, I believe. So that's it for today, and then maybe tomorrow we'll show you where we get tomorrow, and we'll go from there.